Replacing the carbon brushes during starter generator inspection. This video will demonstrate the maintenance procedures for the starter generator inspection. Removal of the starter generator. Mark the electrical cables to prevent incorrect installation during reassembly. Remove the self-locking nuts and disconnect the cables from the terminal block. Caution: be sure not to damage the fuel manifold when removing the starter generator. Loosen and remove the nut on the V-band clamp. Unlock the clamp and remove it. Note, the V-band clamp consists of two separate parts. Slowly pull straight back and remove the starter generator from the engine and put it on a work desk. Removal of the carbon brushes. Remove the screw that attaches the cover over the carbon brushes. Remove the screw which connects the carbon brushes. Hold the wires and carefully pull out the carbon brushes. Do this on the 3 remaining carbon brushes. Inspecting the starter generator. A gauge mark is located on the side of the carbon brush. If a carbon brush is worn to the extent that the gauge mark disappears, the carbon brush must be replaced. It is recommended to replace the carbon brush if it is worn out 5 mm beneath the gauge mark. Also check the state of the wires soldered into the carbon brushes. Incorrect use of the starter can cause the carbon brush to overheat. This can cause the solder to leak out, causing an uneven carbon brush. If this occurs, replace the carbon brush. Check the Teflon tape on the carbon brush cover. Cleaning starter generator. Remove the nut and unlock the clamp on the air intake cover. Remove the clamp assembly. Remove the cover of the cooling fan from the body of the starter generator. The air intake cover may be removed together with the cover of the cooling fan. Remove accumulated carbon dust by suction. Use a dust mask when removing dust. Inspect the commutator. Bright blue, purple carbon sediment on the pass of the carbon brushes is normal. If the commutator does not match this description, please refer to the maintenance manual. After cleaning, put the cooling fan cover in place. Turn the cover assembly to lock the cover to the body of the starter generator. Prepare the clamp on the body of the starter generator and install the air intake cover of the cooling fan. Lock the clamp and tighten the lock nut. Installation of carbon brushes. Installation of carbon brushes. Use a piece of non-electrical safety wire with an eye. Insert it under the spring and lift. Insert the carbon brush. Lift the second spring and insert the second carbon brush. Each carbon brush can only be installed without twisting the wires. Press the wires back to prevent them from touching the starter generator. Install the carbon brushes cover and tighten with a screw. Installation of the starter generator. Inspect the spline before installation. The teeth on the spline must not have sharp edges. They should have a rounded appearance. Lubricate the starter generator spline with petroleum jelly to prevent corrosion. Put the V-band clamp in place on the accessory gearbox mating surface. There are 3 guide pins on the mating surface of the starter generator. If the spline does not engage, slightly turn the starter generator rotor and then attempt to install. Lock the clamp and tighten the lock nut. Make sure the clamp stays in the center. Connect the cables to the terminal block. Before tightening the nut, grease its threads to prevent nut seizure.